Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous, hosted by Bruce Hutchin. I'm so happy you've joined us today, and you're going to find out a lot about whitetail hunting on the show.
This is Whitetail Rendezvous, episode number 346.
This is part one of Jeremy Koerber, Fit to Hunt. He's going to talk about why he helps outdoorsmen get the most out of their outdoor experiences by being physically fit, performance smart, and eating the right food. Yes, food is important. How are you going to hunt? Because it's the fuel of our body. Jeremy knows all about this and has a great program coming up. Jeremy Koerber, Fit to Hunt, Part 1.
It's never too early to think about food plots. Whitetail Rendezvous has an ebook for you. Just simply text 33444 food plot to get your copy.
Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host, Bruce Hutchin, and we're heading out to the St. Louis area, and we're going to hang out with an old friend, Jeremy Koerber, who owns, operates, and runs Fit to Hunt. What does Fit to Hunt do? It gets you in hunting shape. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bruce. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, and kind of catch me up. What's going on with the family and what's going on with your business? And, let's spend the next couple of minutes just catching up.
Well, as far as the family goes, it's been phenomenal. My oldest, who just turned 11 yesterday, took his first whitetail this year. And, we had it almost perfect, except old Dad double punched the video button. So I got the before and I got the after. We actually didn't get the kill shot on camera, but we got the emotion afterwards. And I tell you what, I've never in my life received a hug as big as what that kid gave me after he knocked that deer down. It's something I'll take to the grave. It was that special of a moment. And, it's become a family affair. My wife hunted for the first time this year. Missed a doe, but by and large, she's hooked. So I think it's safe to say that we've created a family of hunters here.
Well, that's wonderful. And, passing on a hunting tradition, however that's passed on, bow, rifle, shotgun, muzzleloader, it's the experience in the woods and the experience of a young man. It's a passing of time, rite of passage, if you will.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden he realizes, wow, I just did that. That's huge in a kid's life.
Yes. It absolutely is. You're right.
So congrats on that. So let's change it
Thank
up.
you.
Let's go to Fit to Hunt and bring me up to speed. It's been a year or so since you've been on the show.
Absolutely. So, what we've been able to do with pretty good success here is to partner with some really good individuals and companies throughout the hunting and fishing industry and build the brand. So, whereas we started, here in St. Louis locally, we now train people, one-on-one small groups here in St. Louis, but with our online coaching, which, for a lot of people, they don't quite understand what that entails. I'll describe that later on. But, we have individuals in South Carolina, Mississippi, Texas, Oregon, who are reaching out to us and saying, look, we've got this elk hunt coming up, or we've got this mule deer hunt coming up, and I need to get ready for it. So, what we do is we custom design programs for these individuals, provide the content, provide the coaching, provide the accountability, and then help them do what our namesake is. We make them fit to hunt so that when they get up on that mountain, they truly do have the experience of a lifetime. And it's such a pleasure. I mean, the biggest kick that I get is when they send me pictures of themselves on the mountain. And it doesn't matter if they're successful or not. One individual went elk hunting, and his biggest thing was he didn't get one, but he kept up with his guides. Whereas one of our clients, yeah, he dropped a mule deer, and this is a gentleman who has some severe knee issues. We were still able to train him to go up and down that mountain, and he connected. He got a mule deer, and again, to see that picture come through my phone with that smile on his face at however many 1,000 feet of elevation, it's I never get tired of that, Bruce, ever.
Hey, what's your email? I'm gonna send a picture to you so you can, put it on your wall to show what a 7-year-old guy can do with a total hip replacement. So, is it
Absolutely.
IWC Fitness? Is that the correct number?
iwcfitness@yahoo.com.
All right. Yeah, you'll get a kick out of that. You can use this wherever you want. You know my story, so you can.
I do.
Sure as heck share it. Let me just take a break here, and because this fits what you're trying to do. And I had at my physical therapy, my surgeon had told one of his clients, she's younger gal, athlete, blah 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 blah, and she was concerned about getting total hip replacement. And so he proceeded to share a story about yours truly, and then he told her about it. So the lady ended up with the same physical therapist I was, and she said, "There's some guy here that da 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 da," and they started laughing. They said, "You mean the old guy?" And she said, "Well, I Dr. Steve Myers said, that's, you got to check this guy out." And that's what they did. And it was a wonderful thing because I did Summit, Lasting for Sheep. I did Summit offhand just because I was there at 14 and I caught 6 of them. I did 6 of them during my sheep hunt, and I didn't care about bagging 14ers.
Wow.
I had to go there. Wow. And listeners, awesome. I'll just say this and then give the show back to Jeremy. But no matter what you're up against, you can get in shape. You can follow what Jeremy says or whoever regime that you get in. If you do it, you can become one with the mountain. I don't know how else to say it. Your comments, Jeremy, because I'm babbling on here.
Excuse me. I tell clients, and it all depends. Depends on what kind of hunting they're after. Is it duck hunting? Is it whitetail hunting? Is it, going up on that mountain after sheep like you did? For the ones who are going after the mountain, I always give them this one charge or one mantra, if you will. And it's quite simple. I say the mountain doesn't care. Now, she's neither for you nor against you. She's there, and you're going to have to either go up it and come down it, and in whatever shape you're in, you're going to have to deal with that. So it's kind of funny. That's becoming a hashtag that a lot of our clients will use when they post their pics on social media, is because the mountain doesn't care. So what we do, and again, there are a lot of trainers. There's a lot of, and there's other companies that do what we do as well, and that's fantastic. My main philosophy is that I'll put it this way, it's all relative. So, for example, if we take somebody who has zero conditioning whatsoever and can improve them 10%, 20%, 30%, okay, that's going to give them a better experience, because at some point, and I think you could speak to this, at some point on that mountain, you're going to get tired. We can't train you to be running up and down that thing and never feel fatigue. This is very much like training a person who wants to run a marathon. At some point, the pain's going to be there. Have we developed the muscular strength, conditioning, endurance, and mental fortitude to have you push through when you need to push through? When you got a call on your body to say, I got to get to that peak, or I got to get to that saddle, or I've got the wind changed on me, and I got to get around this side of the mountain. Do you got it? And I think sometimes people get wrapped up by what they see on TV. They see big dudes or very fit huntresses swinging kettlebells, rip tall, get out, and that isn't necessarily what we're after. That's what I mean. It's relative. If I can take you to where you are right now and improve you in some capacity, you will have a better experience in whatever outdoor pursuit you do.
I couldn't agree with you more, because fortunately I've been athletic all my life, and I knew where I had to get to. And, I knew the mountains, I knew the basins, I knew 3.5 miles in, 3.5 miles out, unless we stayed up on the mountain, so forth and so on. But the thing I would add to this, you can do everything to your body. Your body can just be right there. You can be the best shape since you were a high school football player at the age of 40, 50, 60, or 70. But if your mental process, your mental capacity, your mental attitude isn't there, if you consider quitting at all, then you got to rethink of what the heck you're doing. That's my 2 cents. Your 2 cents?
I would agree with that, and I tell people all the time, because we train outdoorsmen, And we also have a division that trains what I would call the normal person. They're wanting to lose weight. They're wanting to run a 5K, whatever. And I always tell people this: if you will allow us to help you become strong physically, and you will buy into the process, as a result, you will become strong mentally. And so, a big part. And again, I'll use a marathon or a half marathon for an example. Anytime you run a race, and I've done these, there's a point in that race where you start to question, what am I doing? You're fatigued, you're exhausted, your mental focus isn't there. So have you trained to a point where you can pull all of those things back in, focus your breathing, focus your cadence, focus whatever it is that you need to do to push on? Now, I could say with great certainty, you would experience those same things in certain types of hunts, whether it's cold, you're sitting in that tree stand and you're freezing, or you're in that duck blind and it's cold, whether you're on top of that mountain and the air is thin and you're breathing heavy, your legs, this is maybe day 3, day 4 of that hunt, and you've got to pull it together to not only get to, again, that next ridge or that saddle, but to focus in enough to make that shot, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, whatever it's going to be. So by doing these things in the gym, there is a natural correlation or transfer between the physical strength and conditioning that you will have and the mental strength and conditioning that coincides.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And folks, I live at 6,200 feet. So I put in 124 miles. I got my log, 124 miles on the ground, on my bike or on my feet. And then I did the incline, which is 60% grade, goes up 2,000 feet in a mile. And I did it. My kid family does it in 50 minutes, 49 minutes, 52 minutes. But it took me 2 hours because I did that 12 weeks after I had my total hip replacement, and I was not in shape. It took me 2 hours. But because I did that, I knew I could climb any mountain in Colorado. And it hurt. I wanted to quit. My son wouldn't let me, but I wanted to quit. And it's that mental toughness, because I've seen some studs, absolutely stud mountain athletes, and they'll get to a point and they won't push through. And they have all the capabilities, but their mental process lets them down. And so it's just like hunting. When you focus on that one buck, you've got one buck in the hit list, you're going to commit the whole season to get that one buck. And a nice buck, a nice mature buck comes through, but he's not the one on your hit list. And do you pack it in, say, oh man, front's coming through, it's going to be cold, blah, 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 blah. Your thoughts on that, Jeremy?
Well, I would agree totally. And I've thought long and hard about this when I'm in the stand experiencing that. We had, the weather doesn't get like super, super bitter cold here in Missouri, but there were a couple of late season hunts that we were on where, having the right gear certainly helped to stay somewhat warm. But at the end of that hunt, by golly, you were there because you knew that there were still a couple of good bucks running around on that particular property, not because it was warm and comfy in that tree stand. So, for me, again, I'll just repeat what I said earlier on this. The stronger that you are physically, it allows you to deal with the elements, I think, more effectively. And again, that mental toughness that comes in there, just the belief factor in your ability to do certain things, it's huge. Now, I will step back and capture something that you said a moment ago. You talked about how your son wouldn't let you quit. Having that accountability right there as well. So again, if we start to go down a rabbit hole here, whether it's a hunting partner or whether it's a training partner, those two things right there can really make a big, big difference in your overall success. You got someone that you hunt with that's going to push you and make you better. Guess what? Same thing can happen in the gym. If you've got someone that can push you and make you better, and you guys feed off of one another, man, that's magic right there.
Jeremy, how do people get in touch with you if they want to follow up on this podcast and say, I need to talk to the guy? How do they do that?
Sure. I tell you, what we would love people to do would be to visit our website first and foremost, and that's at www.fit2huntperformance.com. Now, the 2 is the number 2, so it's fit2huntperformance.com. When when you go on there, the first time you go on, you're going to get an option. If you would like to sign up for our e-newsletter, which is where we're going to put out content on training, nutrition, hunting tips, discounts on anything that we offer, from personal training to supplements to really gear. There's a lot of people that train a lot of places. One of the biggest kicks that I get, even now to this day, is I'll put up a social media post and see someone in some town that I've never met wearing one of our T-shirts. That really makes me feel that our message is getting across. So if you want to do CrossFit, that's awesome. Maybe you're wearing a CrossFit, and in the gym you're wearing one of our Fit to Hunt tees. That's what we call our tribe, and it's awesome. So first and foremost, they could go there, sign up for the newsletter. If you don't want the newsletter, that's cool. Check us out on Instagram at fit_TO_hunt. You can find us on Twitter at fit_2_hunt. And then you can also get us on Facebook at Fit to Hunt. And we'd love the follows. Either way, if we can help motivate or encourage someone to take the next step, that's what we get most excited about with our team.
And folks, I try to bring the best of the best to the marketplace to my listeners. And even if you don't connect with Jeremy, listen to what he said. Go find somebody, because at 70 years old, I've got my hit list, from 8 big game animals to hunt in Colorado. Will I draw all the tags? No, but then I've got 4 or 5 hunts already for whitetails. And, I couldn't do that if I didn't take care of my body. And I can't do that if I wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm even going to say, 12 weeks before the hunt. I can't do it. And the accountability, and I want to talk more about that in a second, because accountability is critical to your acceptance. You're accountable to yourself, but sometimes, just like my son did, he said, "Dad, just get up and take the next step." And the steps on this incline, you can just grab the upper step and pull you up and put yourself up. It's nuts. It really is nuts. But the accountability, let's talk about that and unpack it. And let's take it from accountability in the gym, accountability at home, and accountability in the field. I want you to unpack that for me.
Sure. I think for anybody to be successful in what they do, they really need three things. First is going to be, I think strength training is huge. You hit the nail on the head. We tell people all the time, what do you do? And I say, it's pretty simple. We either help you prepare for the hunt of a lifetime, or we can help you hunt for a lifetime. So as people reach their 60s, 70s, 80s, I want to see people going for the long term. So strength train 2 to 3 days a week, absolutely essential. Second thing, in my mind, is consistency. All right. So if you aren't consistent with what you do, it's not going to work. People make the mistake all the time of going into the gym, hitting it really hard on Monday, and they don't go back until Friday. That's a mistake. You have to be consistent in order to see results, whether it's through exercise and a combination of healthy eating. The third thing, patience. All right, nothing's going to change overnight. Despite what we see on these late night infomercials, where this person goes from here to there, seemingly, magically, you've got to have those things. So when it comes to the accountability factor, some of the stuff that we do with our coaching clients is just that. The ability to check in them via text, to have that weekly phone call, to say, all right, talk to me about what's going on this week. Because believe it or not, some people say it's so hard to get to the gym. It's so hard to do this workouts. What we're finding is, if you've got someone that genuinely cares about you, all right, and invested in you, a trainer can put together exercises and tell you how many reps to do. A coach understands your goals, and your goal is your goal. I said that backwards. We are out there to help them. So the idea is that, yeah, we're going to help you with your exercise, and we're going to help you with, how to eat a little bit better and perform better in the field. But by and large, we're going to keep you on task. And that's one of the biggest things. So whether it's through us, Bruce, another personal trainer, fitness professional, or someone that you just train with in the gym or a hunting buddy, it doesn't matter. You need someone who's going to pick you up and say, hey, I know you don't feel like doing this today. Let's do something anyway, because there will come a day when you don't feel that way. And maybe that guy is going to pull you up and take you there. So if you can find someone that's going to hold you accountable and keep you on task, then again, I like to use this phrase: you found some magic.
The magic. I like that. And I think, and I'm talking a lot today, folks, because if I can do this, there's nobody listening to my voice that can't. Shelley Grandstead is in a regime right now. If you look at Shelley Grandstead and the transformation that she's made as a woman, she's lost weight, she's toned up. But one of her posts on Facebook, she said, I don't even recognize the person I was X months ago. And she says, I'll never go back to being that person, because all of a sudden, all her potential, all her confidence, all her charisma, it's all coming out just because she decided to take that step and better herself through exercise, through correct eating, through reading the right book. It isn't just going to the gym, folks, in my opinion. Your thoughts, Jeremy?
No, I mean, and again, I will say it's all relative, because I'm training a gentleman right now, and it's been a slow process. So he's dropped 21 pounds over the last year. But you're talking about an individual that was not exercising at all, um, was eating very, very poorly. And so every little change that we made with him was, I'm talking, a minute change. But the thing is that because we've made these small changes and allowed him to see, again, I'll go back to the whole coaching aspect. My job is to coach you at the pace that you are going to allow me to coach. Meaning that if I try to push you and jam you into a corner and you're not ready mentally, well, then I'm just yelling at you. I'm not coaching. So with this particular guy, we were able to slowly improve habits over the course of time. More water throughout the day. Now he carries a water bottle wherever he goes. You know, one key element, this is cool, this is very cool, was through our conversations, because we hunted a lot together this year, was he wanted to shoot deer. He wanted to shoot an arrow, to shoot a big deer, but he wanted to shoot deer because he is now into organic, clean proteins. He's infatuated with this stuff. And, guess what? He's buying into the concept at that particular point. So between the strength trainings that we do with him a couple times a week, he called me the other day and he said, "Hey, I'm going to go on a 5-mile hike." I'm like, that's awesome. He's eating cleaner. He's doing these little bitty tiny things, and his mindset changes. And so I said this is another mantra of mine: change the mindset, you change the person. And so you were talking about, I'm sorry, the person's name you just mentioned,
Shelley
just slipped my mind there. Shelley Grandstead. I bet if you talk with her, she would say that her mindset, as far as what she used to think about food, or how she perceived exercise, or how she even perceived herself, is completely different. And more than likely, it'll be different forever. And that's the process that a person goes through. People, let's put it this way: fitness marketers are really good at playing up on people's weaknesses. They watch a late night infomercial, they see someone go from big to sexy bikini body, and it's like, they can play you like a violin. The reality is that it's hard work and it's a process, and there's a lot of things that have to happen to be successful. But when you do it the right way, things change. Your outlook on food change. You become more empowered. I will tell you, it will spill over into your work life. It will spill over into your hunting life. You will have success and things that you never even imagined, not just your hunts. And that's why I get as fired up as I do, because you can take something as simple as helping a person become a little bit stronger and watch it just permeate throughout their entire life. So in the grand scheme of and how something can change just by becoming a little bit stronger, as you go through this process and the confidence grows, so does that person. And chances are, physically, intellectually, spiritually, there's a lot of ways that this can go. I just got a text right now from one of my clients that just says done. When they work out, they got to send me a text that says they either give me a emoji thumbs up or done. I love this. I mean, this is what we live for right here. Is
I'm laughing because you're just into what you're doing. But I've known Jeremy for long enough time that I'm going, this kid gets it. He's not a kid, but he's younger than I am. But it's just so exciting. It's just so exciting to have passionate people that if you'll do one step, everybody that's sitting out there, well, Bruce, you're special. Not. Sherry Waltz, Grandstead isn't anybody special. Okay, Jeremy, when he started this thing, wasn't anybody special. We all made decisions to say, okay, I got to go sheep hunting. I know 22 days, about 10,000 feet is going to kick my butt. So either I get ready or I'm going to turn in my tag. That's a choice. So my goal was 100 miles on the ground before July 1st, and I did it. I just did it. And then I finished in July. I put another 25, 50 miles scouting, and during my hunt, I didn't keep a wristwatch, so I Fitbit or whatever. I didn't wear it, but it was more than a mile. Let's leave it that. But I'm so excited that Jeremy's articulating what I did and what each and every one of you can do. I'm not selling a thing. You can't buy anything. There's no protein drinks. There's nothing. It's just my passion to realize I don't care your age. I don't care your condition. If you do what Jeremy and other people tell you to do and develop that accountability group, you can achieve anything that you want to do physically today. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to you change the mindset, you change the person. I wrote, the different things that I do in the fitness industry. I wrote a book a few years ago called 101 Ways to Improve Your Personal Training Business. And when I go to universities and speak to students or, different personal training groups and whatnot, and they say, well, who told you could do that? I say exactly what you just said. Nobody. Nobody told me I was smart enough to write a book. Nobody told me I was smart enough to start a company. I simply said, here's what I love to do. Here's what I want to do. And I'm going to go do this here. And what I've learned is that it's not easy. There's going to be more days where people are going to say no, and they're going to say, yes, absolutely. There's going to be rejection. And it really comes down to toughness. And I think that goes a lot in life. If you want it, you're going to earn it. You earned the right to be on that mountain, the way that you've described it to me both here today and in our other conversations offline. It's the same thing. Whatever you're going to get, I guess it's possible. It happens. You walk out there and the buck of a lifetime just strolls in with no preparation whatsoever, and you hear that all the time. I've not been that lucky yet.
Yeah,
it's going to take work.
Yeah, that's so funny. I just here's a free shout out, Whitetail Stalker. You guys, you do a heck of a job, Mike and Shelley. Whilst Grandstead started, and I just want to give you guys a shout out. But I also want to give a shout out, and I'll follow this up with an email introducing you to Frank McDonough. He has online archery challenge. It's a global archery challenge where people are taking videos all around the world of X number of things, either traditional bows or compound bows. And very simply, they stand at 25 yards, they take the rangefinder, their buddies, video them, and then they send the footage in, and then Frank and his crew, they decide who won that month's challenge, and then it's a year-long thing. But here's my thought, and Frank, I'm going to get a hold of you, but if you talk to Frank and work something out and said, some of you guys, some of your ladies and guys throughout the world are having issues with this because I just watched some videos, blah, blah, blah. And then you could help him help his people by the things we're talking about. Because competitive archery is muscle memory, eye coordination, and focus. And focusing folks consecutively in a strenuous, high-pressure situation sucks the energy right out of you. Your thoughts, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anything. I mean, think about the days at work when you're there and it's just a trying day, and you get home and it may have not been that hard physically, but mentally you're just waxed. What I've learned, I started out just, like most whitetail hunters, and that's just with firearms. And it wasn't until later in life that I decided, hey, I'm going to try this bow thing. And when I started to pull back bows, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm pretty strong. I do this stuff every day in the gym, and realized that pulling back or drawing back that bow is much different than doing a row in the gym. And I was like, okay, so, a learning process, a learning curve, and then trying to develop movements, not just gross motor movement, but also the fine tuning stuff. We've talked about the rotator cuffs and things of that nature. So yes, there's a kind of an intricate chess piece puzzle here, if you want to kind of go that route between, how to keep a person healthy and ready to go. But again, you're sitting in that stand, or you're in that competition, and you can draw back just a little bit easier because you're a little bit stronger. You got to edge on the competition.
And let's take a break now. Jeremy and I are on a roll. I'm really on a roll today. But I'm going to break. This is the end of part 1, and please stay tuned for Jeremy Koerber of Fit to Hunt, part 2. Hey, Fit to Hunt's coming up, part 2 with Jeremy Koerber. And on this part, he's going to really get down and talk about exercise and what you need to do on a daily basis to get ready for the hunt in the fall. Don't miss it. Jeremy's got a lot of top-notch secrets that he's going to share to make you a better hunter in 2017.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.